Welcome back, everybody. This is bnsfrailnut doing a layout update here for y'all. This is going to be the second attempt because at the moment my computer is being repaired. Had the hard drive go down, so the last video that I shot, what I'm actually doing right now, is on the computer. It was loaded, and that's when the hard drive went out. So once I get that back, I'll get these uploaded to the computer and then posted online for everybody. So this is the most current update for the layout. All the homasote is about 99% laid. So this is for our phase 1 group. The layout was broken down into 2 phases. I'll zoom in on the wall, but this is kind of a somewhat accurate schematic other than the phase 1 actually changes. But for phase 1, it includes all this upper bench work up here, and then this little Saunders Boylston Peninsula. Phase 2 will be the Northtown Yard and Duluth Piers. So obviously a lot more track involved in that. So we got to build up some funds to get that thing going. But as of right now, for phase 1, we have all the spline laid for this section, as well as we have all the track. We're in the process of building the switches and setting the power up as far as routing the cables, or the wiring, and everything entailed. So what I'll do in this video here is I'm going to make a series of little snippets here. I don't know how long it's going to be, so it might be a few different videos. I'll group them together kind of best I can, but I'll take you through city by city and show you the actual layout as it sits. There still may be a few more industries added, but for the most part this thing is ready for track. We've started stringing the wiring, and then we should be good to go. So we have a flea market coming up in March. We plan to have, if not at least just the main line operational, have the sidings and some of the yard tracks available for little operations when we have our open house with the flea market. So I'm going to leave you off for now, and next time we start up, we'll be starting at a point on the layout, and we'll kind of go town by town. And thanks for watching. Alright, this is going to be the first set of the videos here after the main just intro. This area right here is going to be the base of the helix, foundation for the helix, which I've showed in a couple previous videos. We're not going to be building it at this point, but once we do, we'll just basically start the helix, bring it up, and attach it to this track right there, which has a temporary connection to the Hinckley subdivision, kind of hidden yard, which I'll go through here in a little bit. But this track possibly could be left the way it is with just an attachment to the helix, but it is intended to actually go to the helix and not to that Hinckley subline. So with that, the helix base will have this piece in here, which is just a temporary connection, so we can actually run operations on phase 1 and kind of work out some of the bugs. Once we begin phase 2, at these colored in screws, this piece of homasote will be removed out, and then the proper connections will be put back in. So we can actually start with the spline again here and here. It's recessed and has a couple different pieces kind of interlaced. But with this, we can actually just continue on to the Northtown tracks in the appropriate manner. This side, same applies. This will actually go into the helix and work the way it does for the layout. So, but with this, we're going to be starting up, coming out of Fridley, out of the Northtown Yard. We'll have the Highway 94 interstate crossing in this area. So we'll be leaving north through the yard. You'll have a small little North Star depot right in here, the Fridley one. And then this line will basically be shooting up towards the Coon Creek Junction. So the main line will continue north to, we'll leave it off for this little piece here, the Coon Rapids Coon Creek Junction. So this line to the right will be the Hinckley subdivision. The double track main line to the left is going to be the Staple subdivision. So in there, that's where the lines kind of separate from one another and then reconnect back up by Duluth. So this spur is, in real life, is actually flipped the other way, but in order to make it fit for the layout, we did what we needed to do. And you're going to see that through the layout itself. Where we need some industries to fit, we're going to flip them on the opposite side of the track if need be. So just gives us some more operation to run with the layout. So, but as far as the overall schematic of that track or that industry that is on the wrong side, if need be, will be as accurate as possible. So with that said, this is going to be another little industry just down by the Springbrook Nature Center in Fridley / kind of Coon Rapids, Blaine area. We're about 5 or 6 miles north of Northtown now. So this will be actually a big enclosed building. The track runs inside. As far as the mainline switches, everything on the main line is going to be a number 10. We drew it all to start out with a number 8s, but with a little kind of ingenuity, we're able to squeeze the 10s in there, which is a higher speed switch. It'll basically run smoother for the layout. And then we do have some industry spurs that use 6s. Some will use number 8s, but kind of so on and so forth. And what we're doing, this is a little demonstration here, but this is the industry that we flip-flop, but in real life it actually bends this way and runs to hopper service back there. So some of that building, that's going to be something like right there. So building would be on this side and so forth. But so that is the Fridley Northtown to Coon Creek junction. So we'll leave this one off and we'll catch you down the line. Okay, we're back. We're catching up with that Coon Creek junction. So here we have the junction itself. Like I said before, the back line is going to be the Hinckley sub, and then the staple sub continuing north-northwest to Fargo, Dilworth, Moorhead, and all points west. So just going up the line here, off the Hinckley sub, just north of Highway 10 in Coon Rapids, there's a Budweiser distribution center. It's no longer in service as far as for rail service, but it was only taken out of service probably 3 or 4 years ago. So we're going to add it back in. Then this industry, again, is on the opposite side of the tracks, but what we're trying to do, we got the 2 spurs going into the building right back there. And then this bowed track here, which is a lot more dramatic in real life, is just going to basically be a little more tamed down to this siding here, just to basically make it fit rather than shooting all the way back to the other side of the layout. So that's the Budweiser plant. And then continuing, sorry about that, continuing up the Hinckley sub. This is just north of Viking Boulevard in Bethel, East Bethel I think it's actually called, or Cedar. But there's a company that's on a little spur in here. So this is actually Tamarack Materials Inc. It's going to take 3 spots. So that'll be this company. And then just north of that, there's yet another spur for this company, which is Midwest Metal Framing and Drywall, which is going to take 5 cars. So that spur will be back in there. So this is these are the 2 industries that'll kind of fill up this turnaround. And just as far as for the need of building it, in real life these industries would be on the west side of the tracks, not the east. But that's what we got to do. So continuing north on the Hinckley sub, and just going to wrap around on the top level here. With the Hinckley sub, originally we had, or I'm sorry, the staple sub, we originally had this plan to be just covered, and then as the building of the construction went, we decided to make the Hinkley sub a maximum radius of 36 inches versus the 42 on the main lines. So it's a little tighter radius, but it will kind of separate the Hinkley sub from the staple sub. So continuing north, this will be more or less just a scenic run here. We'll continue north on the staple sub into Coon Rapids, where we have a large North Star rail commuter station. And this one's kind of unique that it's one of two in the state that actually has the overhead skyway to get from terminal to terminal. It's kind of a neat little thing. They close it during the day when service isn't going, but when service is open, you can actually walk across the bridge, and it's a pretty neat rail fanning spot. So we're gonna make a model of that here. So that'll be on the foreground here. Coming back to the Hinkley sub here on the upper level, we're coming into the city of Bethel, and in the city of Bethel, basically the only industry that's in there, it's a city of maybe 1,000 people or so, so it's a real small town. But it's a company called ILS, it's Independent Locomotive Services. They remanufacture engines. I think the reporting markings are ISLX, or ILSX, sorry. But in here, there's some of the shops and stuff like that. So again, we flipped it, but it'll have the siding for the ILS stuff, kind of a rip track or storage track for the company. Moving down the siding, comes to a little junction, and then this spur off here goes into a propane dealer, which in real life I think it's actually just a trailing point. So, but as far as for this switch coming back here, this is going to be the building shop track. So it backs up to a paint booth off this first little tiny track, and then actually into the two engine house tracks. So this will be kind of a neat little industry to model. Not too many locomotive manufacturers are on branch lines, stuff like that. So it's a neat little added interest to the layout. So that is going to be Bethel, East Bethel, and kind of Andover Cedar on the Hinkley sub. And we're with the staple sub still in Coon Rapids, just coming around the junction from the break on the back side at Coon Creek. So we'll see you guys down the line.